Hello there, and welcome to another programming tutorial series. In this series, we are going to talk about a new programming language called C++. Now, if you are familiar with a programming language called C, then you will soon realize that C++ as a programming language is quite similar to C. The reason being, the syntaxes that you follow when you're writing a code, when you're writing a program using C++ is pretty much the same as the syntax that you would have followed if you're writing that same program in C. The reason being, C++ as a programming language has come out of C itself. Now you might be wondering what was the need for creating a new programming language, and the reason is C as a programming language had certain vulnerabilities in it and had certain features that were missing, that you had to create a new language to bring in all the missing features and to stop all the vulnerabilities that were present in C. So that is how C++ was born, and C++ as a programming language has one of the most important feature set called object-oriented programming. Now, this object-oriented programming is a programming concept that completely changes the way you write program as compared to writing a program using C. Because when you're writing your program using C, you mostly write your program by thinking about the hardware on which your computer program is going to run. So what I mean by that is that when you're writing your program, you need to declare a variable. You'll start accessing the variable using the addresses. You need to talk about how much of memory allocations will be allocated for each of the data types and stuff like that, which are much more related to the hardware rather than the actual problem that you are trying to solve. What I mean by that is, I can give you an example. Say, imagine that you are writing a program that's going to be used in a bank by a bank teller. In that case, bank teller's job is to enter certain data related to an account and look at the withdrawals and deposits that has happened in the account. All this data needs to be stored in memory location in a server somewhere, and all those data needs to be retrieved back and displayed on the screen when the teller requests it. But when you're designing a program to do these kind of activities using a language like C, you will actually go into the level where you start thinking about the amount of memory space that are required to store all these data variables. But when you are doing so, you are actually trying to convert or remodel the problem from the banking domain to your computer's hardware domain. The major drawback of this is that for each and every problem that you are trying to solve, you have to convert or translate this domain level knowledge from the actual problem space into the hardware space. But that is not the case when you are actually writing your program using a language like C++, because C++, which has the feature called object-oriented programming, will help you in writing your program directly in the domain space of your application. So when we look at the example of our banking application, you can write your C++ program to solve this banking problem by directly writing the code which talks in terms of banking domains language. That is the major advantage of writing your code using C++. The other advantage is that there are lots and lots of library packages available in C++ that helps you in really focusing on the actual problem that you are trying to solve, and hand over all the other or delegate all the other functionalities that are quite common and readily available as packages or libraries in the C++ programming language. I guess that's the major thing, that's the major advantage of why you want to go for learning C++ as compared to writing your code simply using C. Now you should remember and know that every competitive programmer who is present in the market today knows about C++, and most of the time he will pick C++ as the programming language of his choice when he's participating in any contest. That clearly tells you how much of an efficiency C++ programming language brings onto the table. With this, I guess I will stop this video. It has been almost 5 minutes now that I have been talking about this, but this should have given you a brief introduction about the C++ programming language, and in the coming set of videos I'll start going through the language features, starting from the syntaxes and going through the basics of C and C++ as well, trying to understand the differences between the two languages, what are the feature sets that have been added into C++, and things like that. So whether you are a programmer who already had C programming background, or if you are a completely new beginner, it doesn't really matter. You just follow the tutorial series that I'm going to post over here, and you should be able to understand C++ in a better way, I believe. So with this, let me end this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.